It's Mikey. Welcome to the farm.
All right, y'all. I am trying to get finished up out here. I don't know if you can tell behind me or not, but we have all these storms that are fixing to start coming through here. So I've been trying to get some of the seedlings that I started indoors in bigger pots so they can continue spreading the roots out and growing. And I have a couple of bell peppers here that I started from seed. And as y'all can see, there's two plants in this one little container. One's doing good and one is small. So they need to be separated and repotted before we can actually transplant these outside, because it's still not yet our garden season here in South Carolina. And this one, as you can see, both plants are doing good. However, one is getting a little too leggy. So we're going to put these in some bigger containers. And hubby and I did a video for y'all a while back where you can use your old 2-liter bottles or juice bottles or anything like that. Drill a couple of holes on the bottom of them. A cheap way, y'all. Cheap way to pot your plants in when they start getting a little bit bigger. And this is usually by the time where they go in here and they're ready to come out of here, then they'll be ready to go straight into the garden. So it's kind of a 1, 2, and garden 3-step process here. So anyway, I wanted to also share with y'all, we had several of you reach out that do not necessarily have your own compost on hand. So I wanted to pick up a couple of things here so I can show y'all what we're doing here to pot our seeds and transplant into bigger pots here. So behind me, I have a bag of Sungrow, and I also have a bag of compost. Let me show y'all what they are and what to do with them. All right, so this first bag here with the big old red tomato on it, that is your compost. And this particular brand is Mater Maker. Now you can use a brand such as this. You can also use a brand called Black Cow. You just want to make sure you get your really good bag of compost. And as y'all can see, this looks a lot like our compost here that I showed y'all. So it is going to be dark and rich in color. And it's going to be pretty thick. Y'all see how it's clumping together. All right, so you want to take some of your compost along with a really good potting soil mix, okay? So this particular brand, and I would definitely highly recommend this one, is Sungrow. All right, this is a professional growing mix. And when hubby and I were up in Rock Hill, we picked this bag up there to mix in with our compost. And as y'all can see, this is a very spongy soil. And what that is going to do is help with your drainage when you're watering your small plants, your house plants. But that'll help with your drainage for your seeds or your plants, okay? And your compost here is what is going to feed your plants. So what you want to do is you want to take a 50-50 mixture of your compost and your potting soil and mix them together. And like I was saying, we picked this bag up here when we were in Rock Hill buying our garden seeds. And this is what they were using there. So a lot of your professional gardening centers will use this brand. Very good brand to use. The Mater Maker is a good brand. Black Cow is also a good brand. I would recommend any of those. Okay, y'all, it's starting to rain on me, so I need to hurry up quick and see if I can get this done. But these are what you want to use to plant your seedlings in. Like I said, a 50-50 mix. You don't want to just go and dig up dirt out of your yard or use sand. Number one, it's not going to give your plants the nutrients it needs. And number two, you want a good potting mix to help with the water drainage, because you don't want the roots of your plants just sitting in puddled water because it's not draining out good. So, all right, let's get to it, y'all. So I've already got my mixture back here, and I am going to put it in my little 2-liter container. Like I said, hubby drilled holes on the bottom of them because you want any excess water to drain out of the bottom. You don't want the roots sitting in that water. And these are, like I said, my bell peppers. And y'all can see, let me show y'all, the roots just in that little container. So I'm going to try to separate these two plants, and whenever you try to separate them like this, you want to be easy with them. You don't want to mess up the root system too terribly bad. And we are going to put that in there. A little bit deeper than what it was planted in this little smaller container. So now the roots have more room to spread out and grow, and it's in a container by itself, so it's not competing with this other little guy. And this one might actually have a chance to get a little bit taller and grow better because it's not competing with this other one. So once they start getting to this point, you definitely want to transplant them if it's too soon to put in your garden into bigger pots. And then, like I said, by the time these get ready to go to the garden, it'll be time to put them up there. Probably got a little bit too much in there for right now. I'll show y'all this one. Y'all can see how root bound that's getting already just in that container. So it definitely needs to be transplanted, and you got two bigger plants competing together. So I want to make sure both of them have plenty of room for the roots to spread and for them to both get the nourishment that they need and to be able to grow and be healthy. Okay, y'all, so I have all of my bell peppers transplanted into the bigger pots. And like I showed y'all, these were the little containers that we started our seeds in. And we actually bought these. It came in a flat of 24 containers this size from Farmers Exchange up in Rock Hill, South Carolina, from that gardening center when we went to go pick up our seeds. This is what they used to start their plants in, and we asked them if they would sell us some of these. So they were kind enough to do that, and they have been great at starting our seeds this year. So usually we just use, like you see, leftover little pots and things too, sometimes to start our seeds in, or the little, I don't have any on the table, the little containers like your marigolds or anything like that. We always save those, y'all. And anytime we start seeds or any type of new flowers or anything like that, those are the little containers that we use to do all this in. So, but it, like I said, we're all about saving some money around here, even down to utilizing 2-liter bottles to transplant your plants once they start getting a little bit bigger. So another neat idea that I've showed y'all before, I use popsicle sticks to write down what I'm planting. So that helps me to keep up with what is in what container. I told y'all I'm out of popsicle sticks, and we still have not had a chance to go pick any up yet. So we also have been utilizing tape. This is painter's tape. You can use duct tape, anything you want. My mother-in-law came down the other day. Great idea. Plastic knifeware. So you can actually take this, get you a good Sharpie, look at that, y'all, and stick it right in your container. So 3 easy and cheap ways to mark your containers, and very cheap and easy ways to start your seeds or your small plants. Oh, y'all can see that wind starting to pick up some, but I wanted to show y'all these little trays. These are like little, I guess, food trays or something like that. You don't necessarily have to use these in particular, but if you have anything that you can put your pots in and actually put just a little bit of water in the bottom. So once your plants get to this point, you want them to actually start sucking that water up from the bottom. So your roots will get healthier and stronger. It makes a better root system if the roots are actually getting water from up underneath, pulling up at this point. So this is what I do whenever I transplant them in these bigger containers. And I will start watering them now with a little bit of water on the bottom of this tray. Let them sit in there, soak it up for a couple of minutes. You don't want them to get too wet, so you can take them out of the trays once they soak up water for about 3 to 5 minutes, and put them in the sun and let them keep growing. And if you don't have any container like this, you can still water them from the top. But it's just a good idea at this point, if there's any way that you can water your root system from the bottom up. And I was going to show y'all these real quick. Y'all, we picked these up at the dollar store. They were $4 for $1. These little plastic trays, there's 4 of them in here, so you can separate them. But you can actually put your flower pots. They sell different sizes. You can pick them up at Lowe's or Home Depot or any gardening center. But you can actually, if you don't have the trays like this to stick your pots in, you can pick these up as well and fill a little bit of water in those and sit your plants in those. A lot of people like using these for their indoor flowers and their indoor plants to help hold that water from seeping out everywhere on the floor or anything like that. But just another good way, like I said, if you don't have any kind of trays to stick your pots in for the time being to water, you can also use these little plastic trays, and they are very inexpensive. Like I said, we picked these up, y'all can see, from the dollar store, and there's a 4-pack, so 4 for $1. I was able to pick up a couple of herbs, y'all, from our local garden center. So I've got some thyme, some sage, and I've repotted those. And y'all can see I still have a couple of more herbs that I need to get repotted here. So I've got some lavender, rosemary, and basil. And these are seeds that I started right here. This is romaine lettuce. And this is an herb that we picked up from a local nursery. That is cilantro. And we have Greek oregano. That is one that I also picked up as well. I wish mine were doing that good. As you can see, mine are still seeds, and not all of them have popped up yet. So hopefully they'll all do good. But I also wanted to pick up those couple of extra herbs from the nursery the other day, because those I wanted to put in pots, so when it does get cooler weather, I can actually take those and put them inside. These, if they do well, I'm going to try to transplant these in our garden areas, especially in our kitchen garden. And as y'all can see, I have some thyme, bee balm, cilantro, hyssop, cinnamon, basil. There's my first onion, y'all, that I showed you that we were planting. That's some parsley that I had from last year. It's coming up, well, still up and still doing good. And y'all, I've got some sage there and some rosemary coming up. So those are ones that I started by seeds. This one, I don't know, it's not looking so well, but I do have a couple more seeds in there, hoping that they're going to start coming up. But that is my lemon basil. These are the little flats that I was telling y'all about that we picked up from the local garden center. That's how they look when they come. And what I've done in here, I've started some sunflowers in those. I have a couple of them. Now this one we bought from Lowe's. Y'all can see the little tiny ones. And I thought that those might be good, since they're a little bit smaller, to start like my marigolds in. And y'all, I have to show you this because I am extremely excited about my lavender that came up from seed. Even though not all of them came up, I did have a couple of little sprouts, y'all. And from what I understand, lavender is very hard to grow starting from seed. So that is a definite first for me, and very excited about that. But as y'all can see, these are all the containers that we've bought and used before that we have saved over the years, and that is what we continue using and reusing. I think, yep, this one's got a rip in it, but y'all, we keep them. Yep, that one's ripped there too, and they're still usable, so we keep them as long as we can. I got a couple more things to get potted. I've got chocolate mint, y'all. If you have never smelled chocolate mint, oh my gosh, it is fabulous. And this is an apple mint. Unfortunately, the little marker, it's not there anymore. So y'all, we really appreciate y'all reaching out with your questions, and hopefully this will help any of you that is looking into trying to start seeds for the first time this year, or just simply wanting to know what is good to start any of your plants or seeds in. So you just want to get you a good bag of potting mix and compost. Lacey's running around. I think she knows that storm's moving in, y'all. But I just wanted to put this out there. This is not a paid ad or promotion. These are just products that we use, we are satisfied with, and would definitely recommend to y'all. And like I said, these little starter trays that we picked up in the 24 flats to start our seeds in, ask your local garden area. Sometimes they will sell these, and this is what they use to start their flowers and things in. And we were able to pick up a couple of flats of those to get our seeds started around here. So y'all, garden season is coming quick. So y'all, it's been another busy day around here. It seems like we have one project right after another, and oh hubby, he likes playing in the dirt, I think, just as much as I do. We hope y'all do too. We hope that we were able to answer any questions that y'all had, and if there's anything that we did not answer and you would like to reach out to us, please do so and let us know, and we'll try to help you any way we can, as much as we can, because we like sharing what we're learning as we go as well. So That's the only way we're going to learn together, y'all. We just help each other out. We hope that y'all are safe out there. Y'all please keep up with what's going on in your area with all these storms coming in, and make sure that you are in a safe place. Y'all take care out there. God bless.
God bless.
Y'all come back and see us soon.